it's Courtney, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Australia. And today, thanks for joining me, I'm going to play with the Merriest Moments bundle, which you'll find on page 43 of our August to December mini catalogue. The one that I call the holiday catalogue, just because it's out of habit. Alrighty, let's flip this baby over and get started. Alrighty, so I've got the silver foils. I'm not sure if you've seen those. There's three different colours in the silver foils. There's this matte foil, a really dark one, and the light one. We're going to use the light one, but I actually will show you what I'm going to do with them all. I'm going to cut them all so that you can actually see. Just going to make, there's our Night of Navy and our white. I'll just make some room. Just pop my stamp set. We're playing with the Merriest Moments just to the side. I'm not sure if you've seen these, the hybrid embossing folder and die set. I've kept them all in together because I feel like a challenge each time I go to get them out. So we've got the folder, the embossing folder, which is one of the dynamic embossing folders. So you do need the grey plate on the cut and emboss machine for it. And then we've got these dies. Alrighty, aren't they pretty? These are the Merriest frame dies. So they all work together. So just because I can, I'm going to cut out these pieces first. I know what other pieces I'll need, but I'll come back and grab those. Okay, I'll just pop them somewhere I can find them. That's always good. Okay, I'll just bring my cut and emboss in. Hopefully you can see it. Alrighty, currently got all of those plates on it. We don't need them straight away. So I probably should have shown you what it's going to do. Okay, so we've got the embossing folder. If you just run through the embossing folder, you're actually going to get this. So you get the image nicely embossed. There's some background image, which I will run through without my navy piece. So there's something special about Night of Navy and silver for Christmas cards. So we need the grey one. Here's one I prepared earlier. Okay, so I'm just going to pop, I want it fairly central so that I get my sentiment in the center. I'm actually going to go this way just ever so slightly. Doesn't want to play nice. Because I really want that sentiment in the center. That looks pretty smick to me. So always go in with the dynamic folders, actually with any folder. If you always go in with your hinge first, you're less likely to do any damage to your folder. You shouldn't do any damage to your folder if you use the right sandwich anyway, but just to err on the side of caution, if it doesn't go through, don't force it, but this goes through nice and easily. All right. And there, how nice does that look? Pretty smick, hey? Okay, so we need that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pop that one aside and I'm going to cut out using this frame. So that frame will actually give us two pieces. So it'll give us the blank frame and it'll give us this piece, which is all cut out. Okay, so this is actually the one I want. I need all my other plates back. Where's my base plate gone? Down on the other end. Okay, don't mind me. So plate number 1, plate number 2, plate number 3. Neaten them up a bit. Cardstock. Die. Hold your tongue right. I've just cut these pieces of cardstock in centimetres to 10.5 by 14.5. because I knew that that's what the frame fit. So I'll send that through there. And that's just going to give me shape. Probably should have come back through because it's the foil, but it's coming out relatively easily. So I've got a plain shape. Now, this is where the magic happens. So this die, so I've still got number 1. So that die cuts that out. Then when I open this up, on the Stampin' Up side, it's actually quite grooved. So this die will fit. It sort of just nestles back in place. When it's cardstock, it just sits there, but the foil wants to curl. So then close her up, check, see how it fits quite nicely. Okay, hinge in first. Oops, drag everything across the table because my table's so messy. Grey plate on top, back through. This is going to be pretty special, this card. Don't know who I'm going to send it to yet. And then when we pull that out, look at that. How good does that look? Okay, so the other thing that you can do with this, and I'll show you, I've done it here, and I will show you on another piece of shaded spruce, is I've got these 2 pieces. So what I've done with this one, let's move that to the side, is this frame here will cut out just the shape. But if you pop it into here, only fits one way, and you can feel it sort of nestle in. It doesn't really move once it's nestled in nice. And then you pop in a piece of cardstock, close her up, check that nothing's moved. This is what I love. Okay, so watch this magic. Hinge in first and going through. Look at this. That comes out. That comes out, and so does that. How good does that look? How clever is that? I do like that. I'm a bit, I don't know what the right word for it. I'm pretty excited about it. So I'll just move that to the side. Let's make a card with all these bits that we just cut out. I'll be bringing that back in a minute. So we've got the textured, like the embossing folder, and we've got all of these. That time I just used the 2 frames. One's done a runner, those 2 frames. Okay, so on one I just used that, and on the other one I used that. They do fit back in here quite nicely. I do have to pluck all my bits of silver cardstock out. I need this piece because that fits nicely in the middle, and because of what I'm doing, I'm actually going to use that, and I'm going to use that. Okay. Now can you see why I keep them all together? They come sold as a bundle. You can't buy them separately. So if you love the framework, love the dies, sorry, you have to get the embossing folder. If you love the embossing folder, guess what? You're getting the dies. Then, bonus, there's the Merriest MoMA stamp set. So that's what we're going to use to make our card. So these 2 pieces of silver, I'm not using these. I'm going to put these away, but they'll look just as smick on that, or even with a different colour. The packet comes with 3 12 by 12 pieces in it. So making a card this size, you're going to get, I don't know, 6 cards out of each piece. Where did I put the rest of them? I don't need that. Okay, so I've got a piece of, oh, I was going to say I didn't have my bone fold. I've got a piece of Night of Navy. And I've just cut it, it's A4 cut in half. Sometimes I score, sometimes I don't. I always score if I've got the thick basic white card. but otherwise I don't. I think I need to change my blade. It's starting to give me a bit of a ridge. Okay, so then I've got this piece, and it's just slightly smaller than my cardstock, can you see? Just so that it lifts it a little bit, and because I didn't want the image on that side. Then I'm going to actually sit that over the top of that. All right, and because you can fold them up a little bit and you can still see underneath that there's that little bit of embossing. It just makes it pretty. And then we're going to pop. I've got a piece of Whisper White for the inside and a piece of Whisper White for the outside. So I'll just pop that to the side. We need our mat. This is a photopolymer stamp set. Pop you to the side too. Okay, so I've cut this for my inner. I cut them all at once and I end up with a whole stack out of the packet. What I didn't grab was an envelope, so hold that thought. I'm going to grab an envelope. Okay. So I've gone and grabbed an envelope because I want to stamp it at the same time. Now for the envelope and the inner, I've actually got a different stamp that I'm going to use, but for starters, I'm going to bring in some real red. Something for me about real red and Christmas, and that's just the way it is. So all my stamp sets, my stamp's really juicy, and I didn't bring my cleaner over. Well, that's going to throw a spanner in my works because I can't use my leg because I don't have black on, but that's okay. So I'll just give that, just giving my ink pad a bit of a massage just to push, because our ink pads, all the ink sits on the top, they can be quite juicy, so just push that down to the bottom. I'll put that right out of my way so it doesn't land on me. That's one. And two. Oh, I like those. I do like those. Okay. And oh, no more red. I want my lighter navy. Might even be able to get a third flower out of this if I do this right. What do you reckon? Maybe. Probably can actually. Joyful Christmas to you and yours. And hopefully this ink pad's not too juicy. Are you one of those people that boil the kettle just after it's boiled, and you put the tea bag, you boil the kettle, put the tea bag in, get the milk out of the fridge, and the kettle's boiled, and you boil it again just to make sure it's really hot, because you know in that 10 seconds it's going to get cold? That's me. So hence I ink the stamp up, line it up, ink it again just because I can, and my husband thinks I'm a nutter, but that's okay. I can cope with that. He can believe whatever he likes. So I'll just move those out of the way because I actually need to bring back in my these couple of these ones I'm using now will actually fit in your mini if you've got a mini cut and emboss. My mini cut and emboss is over on the shelf. So I've got platform 1, 2, my well-loved 3 piece of cardstock. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, and I'm hoping that I've got it in shot. My well-loved platform's very well loved. But when I put in a rectangle or a square, I always put it in on the slightest of angles. Now, the reason why I do that is because it seems to go in better if you push it in through its point. And it's just a matter of finding which one of these is the right one. That looks good. And which one of these? And sometimes it's just a matter of going around the circle until you get it into spot. And I did see that I just moved to that other one. Look, You can use a little bit of washi tape if you want. You can stick it down. You can do them one at a time. I'm being impatient. That's probably the easiest way to put it. So we'll pop that on. Send these babies through. See, it goes through really easy when you use the corner. I don't know why, but it just seems to make easy and my life easier, and I'm all for doing that. I'm going to see if I can get a third one. Good, because I'm going to need a third one because that one's dodgy as. Oh, it wiggled. That's okay. There's more cut. There's always more bits of cardstock. How good does that look? Could even put another piece of navy under there. Let me see if I can fit another stamp on here. Or maybe. A lot of my friends know me as frugal. He's proof. But you know what? We don't need to be wasteful. See, that fit? Plenty of room. Let's cut this one out. And to Mama. Pop that one in there. I'm actually really liking this set. I'm thinking that I might have to do a class with this. So, who'd be interested in doing an online class with this set? If you aren't already signed up to my videos and my newsletter, you might want to get onto that. There'll be a link in the bottom that's actually got all of my links in it, so that you can actually get all my links in one. So for all my social media, to sign up for my newsletters, to sign up for my emails, and if you press the subscribe button below, you'll actually even get pinged when I upload a new video, or if I go live. Now there is a reason why this one's not live. I just got a new jobs and I start tomorrow, and that's going to throw my Thursdays up in the air a little bit at first while I'm doing my orientation and training. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, together is the merriest place to be. Is it ever? Now I don't know how many of my other videos you've watched, but if this is the first one, I don't ever stamp things in the middle because it's too hard to get them in the middle and get them in the middle and straight every time. So they're always slightly off center, slightly off the middle. And this dodgy one, I'm thinking that I am going to add it to here, and then I'm just going to trim off the dodgy bits. So let's get this party started. So this one's the good one's going on the front. Okay, now I do have, because I was looking, I don't know if you've seen the pictures in the catalogue on page 43. There's a card that's similar. They've used the holly. They put a piece of ribbon underneath and they put some twine, and I really liked that, but I don't like it going that way. It needs to go that way, and I think I'll be doing that. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to trim my twine up. I was just going to glue that straight down, but I'm not. Now, my mum's just got home. I'm pretty guessing, if I was to guess, she's about to pop in, because that's what mums do. Use my Stampin' Seal, just put a little bit across there. And see, because she wasn't home when I started, I didn't get to tell her I was doing a video. Now, using this twine, and I didn't bring over to the table I have to use this. Don't usually use the Stampin' Seal for this, but we are today. Because I want to bring it over here, around, over there. And she didn't stop in, that's very unusual. Okay, I don't want it to tag. Don't want it to pull on that one. So let's trim that off. Now I'm going to stick this down. Put some seal on it. But I am actually going to put, because I've got that twine there, oh baby, I'm also going to put a little bit of multi-purpose adhesive. Because this stuff doesn't move. Oops, once it's dry, it's not going anywhere. Hold your tongue right, line her up. Remember I said it's just a couple of millimeters shorter than on all four sides. Okay. All right, tie a bow, just because I can. Nice big loopy one, I think, today. Nice big loopy bow. Probably not as big as I wanted, but that's all right. And look, by doing it like that, you can put it wherever you want. See? Did you see that move? Just wiggles. Pop that out of the way. And I'm thinking this silver needs dimensionals, and quite a few, because it's pretty and it needs to stick up and it needs to do its thing. If you wanted to, you could use the ball that comes with the stylus that comes with your take your pick tool, and you can push those out a little bit more if you wanted to, but I actually think that they don't need it. But it does need lots of dimensionals, because you can never have too many dimensionals. And we'll take all these off. Now the main thing is to make sure that you get it up the right end. So just move my bow back over there, because I don't want to trap it. Hold it straight so you can only see a little tiny squidgy bit of the ribbon. Oopsie, I pulled it loose a bit. Tighten it up a bit. I'll push it back in underneath there. I just want it to just to be there. Okay, now you can put this on dimensionals as well if you want, but I'm actually going to put the flowers on dimensionals, so I'm not going to put that on. That's going to get, it's on foil, that's actually going to get glue for no other reason than I know it's not going to wiggle later. It's not going to, in Australia and in summer it's really hot, so it's not going to give. And it also gives me wiggle room, see, so that I can actually, it's not straight. Oh my gosh. Shh, don't tell my mother. And then this way I can put this little baby on. Now this little guy here, and you can put on either of them. They can either go like that, they can sit on top, but they need dots. So there's a tiny little dot one as well. That gives you teeny tiny dots. If you're really patient, this would look really good as a background, but you'd have to be really patient or only be doing a little bit of a background. Okay, and that just moves that navy back to the top. So you can have one there. And if you wanted to, you could put one on top. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put this one on flat, just because I can. Might move it in a little bit, but I don't want it on the words. And then this guy is going to get a dimensional. I was just looking for a mini, but the back's big enough, it can have a big one, but it only needs one. If you, because this is all textured, you can use your bone folder and just give this a little bit of a rub. And that just gives it some texture as well. This is one of the tricks that I learned when I was doing paper towel. I do find that I don't push this as much, but it's just enough to, I should have done it before I stuck the dimensional on, because now I don't have as much give. But since this one worked, I'm not gonna redo it. Okay. So, and then we're going to put this baby over the top of that one. And I actually think that looks pretty nice. So let's stick my inside in. Oh, I need more dots. Oh, and I haven't done my envelope. Oh, can't have a naked envelope. More dots. So, because it's the inside and we don't want texture, because text, like, you know, or not texture, we don't want height, but this gives it a little bit of texture. Now I've got it hanging over, so it'll just depend. Oh, open up. I really like how this has turned out. Hope you like it too. So this is in our what I call our Christmas catalogue, because it's got all the good Christmas stuff in it, and it goes to just after Christmas. So this is in the mini catalogue, which goes until December, to the 3rd of January. So, but everything in it's while stocks last, so you don't want to wait. See how it goes over there? It's quite pretty. And because I stamped it in a dodgy way, which, well, actually I stamped it beautifully, because I cut it dodgy with the die, I put the bigger bits of the white on this side deliberately so that they actually get shown up from the navy. Oh, looking good. How nice does that look? I'm very happy with that. And then I'm just going to put one, if I can find my red, right here in front of me. I'm just going to put one of these poinsettias. Oh, I haven't bought it. I haven't got my mat under me. Let's hope it, cross everything, it works. It's not as good as if you use the mat, but the mat just makes it heaps better. Gives it a cushion, because these guys don't have their cushion inbuilt. I do like that. And then there's this really cool one. I'm not sure if you can see that. It's like a fern. I'm going to stick the mat in. I'm going to stick it underneath there. Yep. Because I think the back needs the fern, because it's pretty. Look at that. Isn't that nice? It's like, depending on how you do it, it can look like it's just leaning up against a Christmas tree. And then we'll open her out. And voila, there's leaves all around. Oh, nearly did it without. And that's when, actually, a couple of little dots. Do we say too much cord? Stop. It's too late now. Whoops. Press properly. I need to finish what I started. Probably wouldn't recommend the dots. They are a labour of love, if that's what you'd want to call it. Could make a pretty piece of paper, couldn't it? Yep. Nope, quitting while we're ahead. Okay. Just because I can. Okie dokie. So there you have it. Just cover up that, and one joyful Christmas card that I'm actually very happy with. I sound surprised. I'm not surprised. So that's the Merriest Moments bundle, which has got your stamp set, your embossing folder, and those gorgeous dies, which are not in the packet because they're all over my desk. So it comes with, and I think there's 16 in there. Yeah, 16 dies. So that's pretty cool. Okay, in Australia, the bundle, you can get the bundle for $94.50. If you just want the, why would you just want the this and the frame, the dies? I think you need the whole bundle. There'll be a link to my store below. And watch this space, because I think I need to do a class on this, and I've decided that I'm going to be doing classes by mail as well. So not only those people that can come and hang out with me in my studio, you're going to be able to also access these classes as well. So until next time, I look forward to seeing you then. Remember to hit that subscribe button to see what I come up with next. Thanks.